But amazingly, perhaps the biggest reason why Daniel Andrews does not have confidence in his own world-class health system's ability, and old Bambi-Eyes Sutton, to be able to get on top of this is the same problem that we had months ago. The same problem we seem to have always had in Victoria, apart from shit leadership. It seems to be contact tracing. Now, contact tracing means that last week, when I went to the Bathurst 1000, I got a text message from New South Wales Health saying, hey, anyone who's been to Bathurst, can you go, check your symptoms, double check, go get a test. I did it, came back negative. That's contact tracing. And that was for an event that had 4,000 people. This bloke can't keep an eye on one suburb. He can barely keep an eye on one family. A point being made by the Federal Health Minister that Victoria is clearly not reopening because the Premier does not believe that they can contact trace like every other state seems to be able to do. Even Queensland and the idiot politics being played there, they've said there'll never be another lockdown in Queensland no matter what happens because our contact tracing is good enough. However, Victoria, more people, more money, well, nothing to see here. The Health Minister, who's from Victoria, won't buy it.
The only reason they wouldn't open up is if they didn't have confidence in their own contact tracing system. There should be no barrier to Victoria taking those steps in line with New South Wales.
And a person who has already said to the Hotel Board of Inquiry, which we all know is fast becoming the toothless tiger, the one that has all the power to ask the questions but certainly wants to not ask the right ones. Jenny Mikakos, the former health minister, she came out today and she has stood there almost every single day for the 100 days of these damn press conferences, and she tweeted today. She's the health minister. She knows the system. She presumably can still text and call people inside the system to double check before she writes something like this. We were all told it had to be 5, an average of 5 over 14 days. That was thought unachievable. I was one of those people. It was a cautious target, but 6 of the 7 cases are related to a known outbreak. There is one question mark case, yet that is enough to keep you locked up in Melbourne. The set reopening is gradual and safe, so any delay is unnecessary. It's paralysis in decision-making. A big call from somebody who was more than happy to be around the table when it constantly was not making the right decisions. So what is Andrews spending his time doing? Well, of course, there's no way he instructed any of this to be happening, but the full force of the Victorian Public Service, which should be on contact tracing and letting people go back to a normal life, well, what's it doing? The police, among other things, well, are chasing down leaks, embarrassing leaks that affected the Premier's media strategy, nothing else, from the last roadmap to recovery, which was 100% right when it was leaked to the Herald Sun a couple of days earlier. They've set the cops onto the source of that story. Oh, and unsurprisingly, an anti-Dan Andrews bus was pulled over and inspected for not 1 but 2 full hours before given defect notices, because apparently that's the big problem in Victoria, the anti-Dan bus.